All right, guys, welcome to Mike and Dave at the stage. I am Dave.
Mike.
On purpose?
Of course.
And today's episode is Cringe Songs by Good Bands.
Yeah.
And please get ready for those extra special douche chills. Because these are all, like, I would call them somewhat lone songs in bands, but right off the bat, we have back-to-back by the same band, and in the middle, we have back-to-back by the same band.
Well, the funny thing about these songs is, you're right, a lot of people are going to... When I was picking the songs I picked, I could only think of how mad people were going to get. Except for the first one we're going to do.
I don't think anyone's really going to be mad.
Well,
some of these are universally listed as cringy songs.
Well, that's what I'm saying is the first one I definitely know is a crowd favorite of dislike.
Yeah, I actually, like, when I saw it, I'm like, really? And then I listened to it, I'm like, oh, I get it.
Okay.
This is the skip.
This
like,
is
the one skip on this album.
Okay, so let's get into it. My first song is Escape by Metallica.
Off Ride the Lightning.
All right. And this song is so disliked that the band dislikes it.
Yes.
Metallica may have played this song once live.
Recently.
It was recently?
Yeah, I know it was in the last couple of years that they only played it live once, and it was by request.
Okay.
Because nobody had heard it live.
Yeah.
So they did a thing where people were voting it in, and they're like, I guess we have to play it.
Yeah. It starts out, first off, the way it starts, with the two, dude, if there's any worse way to start a song, it's with two drum beats, two, you know? It only gets worse from there.
Well, I think the riffs are really
they're
good.
The riff, I had to go back and forth. It's slow Ride the Lightning. Mm-hmm. It's the same riff.
Kind of, yeah. It just feels like they tacked this in there because they needed an extra song.
Exactly what I think.
And
they
couldn't
needed.
think it. They couldn't think it all the way through. And by the way, this is not indicative of Metallica. This is in between Master of Puppets and Kill 'Em All. Like Kill 'Em All and Master of Puppets in that order.
Yeah.
Kill 'Em All doesn't have songs like this.
No.
And Master of Puppets definitely doesn't have anything like this. And it's not like any of the other songs on Ride the Lightning.
Right.
Ride the
Lightning.
Lightning.
It's not thrash.
It's not thrash. It almost feels like they were trying to pop up thrash music. Like they're trying to bring it kind of friendly-ish.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel right. And they didn't use it as a single or anything. So I really think they used it as a filler.
That's what I think it was.
And it has I hate the lyrics.
Yeah.
I hate his singing in this. I always hate the drums when it comes to Lars. I'm not a Lars drumming fan.
Right. It's not whiny. Was it whiny?
Yeah, it feels a little whiny.
kind of.
It feels
kind of a woe is me kind of feel to the song.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is also something that leads into almost all the other songs on this list where it feels forced.
Yes.
Everything about this song feels pushed. And not in a good way. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't feel like it's pushing towards something better. It's just pushing to get it done.
Right.
To be honest, Ride the Lightning is one of the best albums ever written, with the exception of the song, because For Whom the Bell Tolls is literally the first song I tried to learn how to play on bass.
Right.
And it's actually one of the first songs I actually fully learned how to play on bass.
And this is another pet peeve of mine, like I brought up, the fade in of songs. This has, which if it works, it works.
The fade out.
No, not the fade out. The air raid sirens at the end. I hate put in sound effects that you're not going to hear live.
Oh yeah.
Right? Now here's where the contradiction comes. You said For Whom the Bell Tolls. It has the bell tolls in the beginning, but it comes out live.
Yes.
Live because you have to.
one of the things I love, especially about Metallica, in the first 4 albums, you know, the metal years, was their writing, because Cliff was so instrumental in their writing process. You know, first Metallica album had a lot of Mustaine still on it, influence. But this album had a lot of Cliff. A lot of the guitar harmonies were him helping Kirk and James get their harmonies in check. He was really big on making the sound big. This doesn't have that.
No.
And it definitely feels like the best weapon for the job wasn't utilized. And that would have been Cliff's writing. Cliff's writing all the way past his death, because the stuff for Justice, it sounds like they were working on it while he was still alive.
But
like they had started while he was still alive.
But they put so much emphasis on him, they didn't even put the bass in because he wasn't there.
Honestly, I've talked about this. Have you ever heard Justice for Jason? Somebody used the Guitar Hero Metallica tracks, and pumped the bass back up, and released that as the recording, and it sounds pretty good.
I heard a guy play it on YouTube with his bass, and
it's not bad. Jason. Say what you want about Jason. Yes, he is not Cliff.
No,
but he's a phenomenal bassist.
No, but that's the funny thing is that I don't know what they have no faith in him. Why did they not put it in Justice?
I think it was a combination of drunken bitterness.
Yeah,
because they were still hurting. Like they were. I think it was weeks after Cliff died that they were trying out new bassists.
Yeah,
which, by the way, 2 of the funniest stories come from them trying out bassists. One is a complete lie, and the other one is the absolute truth. The absolute truth is that Les Claypool tried and realized immediately that he wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
And just said, hey, guys, I know I don't fit with you guys. You want to jam on some Isley Brothers tunes?
Nuts.
And made them laugh.
Yeah.
In a time where they were really drunk and hurting. And, and he said, you know, I wouldn't have fit in, but it was fun to be considered.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the lie.
What's that?
Hulk Hogan said he was asked to join Metallica.
I have never heard this in my life.
So you're not big on wrestling.
No, but I know the basics, especially back then. I was a little kid. I watched Andre the Giant, get body slammed, choke slammed by
body slam.
Body slam.
So there's a thing. Hulk Hogan's a pathological liar. So one of his lies is that he tried out for Metallica.
It wasn't. He said this in like an actual interview, not as Hulk Hogan.
No, he said it in a regular.
This was Terry telling
Terry Bollea,
telling the story.
One of the funniest things is famously the Jim Cornette Experience, the podcast.
Yeah.
Jim Cornette was a behind the scenes guy and a manager, and he and his co-host were talking about all the lies that he told, and this is one of them, and it's one of the ones that even Metallica came out and said he never
did, yeah.
They not only did he never try, he was never even
asked.
He is a bass player.
Okay.
He is a legit bass player, but he was never asked. The funny thing is, they went through a list of all the things he lied about,
right?
And that wasn't even in the top 10 of the most outrageous ones.
Oh my God, I really want to know now. I
gotta
look this up.
One of my favorite lies that he told is that after one of the WrestleManias, he partied with John Belushi in 1985.
John Belushi was dead already?
He died in 83. And it was one of the WrestleMania, I think it might have been WrestleMania 3, where it was held in 3 different locations.
Yeah.
And there was like New York, LA, and the other one was Chicago.
Yeah.
So he could have been in any of those places.
Right.
But he wasn't. He was fucking toes up. He was dead. So Hulk Hogan's full of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one of my favorite lies. The other one is he was scouted by a baseball team, and he only said that because Macho Man Randy Savage was a legit scouted baseball player.
Yeah.
And he only wanted to make him angry. So in interviews, he'd say, I was scouted by this baseball team.
Okay.
But I think it might have been the Minnesota Twins
mad.
or the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But these lies, he put them out there.
Yeah.
Like they're on record. He said he was offered partial sponsorship and Pride, but he didn't want to get involved because people got hurt for real.
What is Pride like?
Pride was like UFC.
Oh, okay.
It's Pride fighting.
Sorry.
No, I know you might have been thinking the other one.
Yeah.
But no. Hulk Hogan's full of crap. So to think somebody like that could ever play something like this.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
And how fucking weird would that look?
And then when I heard that years ago.
Yeah.
And then this song made me think of it again.
Because
this song, the bass isn't that complicated, but it is still Cliff.
Yeah.
So there is some of Cliff's amazing playing there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, who else could replace him? And then that made me think of Some Kind of Monster, you know, the documentary about Metallica.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched it?
No.
So there were 5 bassists that tried out, like they videotaped trying out for Metallica. And they are 5 legitimate good
guys,
good musicians.
Right.
Twiggy Ramirez from Marilyn Manson's band. Yeah.
Okay.
Real name Geordie White.
Uh-huh.
It was Twiggy, Scott Reeder from Caius, who is also awesome.
Right.
Billy Duffy from The Cult. Pepper Keenan from Corrosion of Conformity.
Wow. All right.
And Robert Trujillo.
Yeah.
And then
he tried out originally? Or this is new?
No, this was the original
after Jason
left.
Gotcha.
And in those tryouts, they played a little bit of them playing some of the songs.
Yeah.
And, you know, these guys, some of the guys, and it's not their fault, they were having trouble playing From Whom the Bell Tolls from this album. From the Bell Tolls is not a difficult song.
Right.
It's a feel song. You have to play it by feel.
So they were playing it straight up.
They were playing the notes as written.
Right.
But it's not played as written, it's played as felt.
Right.
And the funny thing was, guys, they were doing all right. But then you see Robert Trujillo do it.
And he was there.
And they started with like a couple of standard songs that they picked.
Yeah.
And they're like, is there anything you know as well as this? And he's like, yeah, I guess I could do Battery.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen the notation for Battery, it's all over the place.
Right.
It's, I mean, out of control. It's super fast. And he played it, and even they say it in the video, they hadn't seen it played that way since Cliff.
Yeah.
And because Robert Trujillo is no joke.
Right.
Like a legitimate musician bassist. Like he can play whatever you ask him to. Which is why Suicidal Tendencies, Infectious Grooves. He played with Ozzy for years. Fantastic. But this song, to see him play this song almost feels like a disservice because this song is such a weak song.
Right.
You didn't think I was going to bring it back around,
I was waiting. Now we're going to do a 1-2 punch here.
And this is number 2.
You picked a Metallica song as well.
I did. And we did not talk about this beforehand, about who was going to be on this list for each other.
No. That's what was funny about me. When you sent me the list and I saw that we picked two bands of the same bands twice.
And I immediately giggled. And
now,
I hadn't even thought of Escape because I never think of that song.
Yeah.
Because it's an immediate, it's an immediate skip.
Immediately when we came up with this topic, that was the first. That's why it's the first one on my list. Is because that's the exact song I thought of. I was like, this is the cringiest song. Well, not the cringiest song I can think of, but the one that comes to mind right away. Now, I want you to explain yours because I don't get it.
You don't understand why I think it's cringe?
Yeah.
Okay. So my pick was Hero of the Day from Load.
Okay. That whole album to me could be on a cringe list, but
I would say there are 2 songs.
They've grown on me though. I don't hate the reason why I don't understand the cringe factor of this song.
Okay, to me there's something about the way he's singing. It's, if you read the lyrics out loud, you automatically feel uncomfortable.
Okay, because I listen to what.
Excuse me, while I tend to how I feel. It's very cold, clinical, and very like I'm trying to feel my emotions, but nothing's coming out, but not in a good way.
Yeah,
like you know that idea of being numb.
Yeah.
Linkin Park's "Numb" is a very good expression of where you feel something, but you're not feeling it enough to be able to express it.
Correct. Okay.
This is the same idea.
But he doesn't know how to
express it. Well.
Right.
And it feels smarmy to me.
Yeah.
It feels smarmy and self-centered. And this was one of 2 options I had for this. And I honestly, actually one of 3 now that I think of it.
On the same album?
No, in the same era. Because the other option would have been from Reload, and that would have been Unforgiven 2. And then to stack on that...
That is lazy as hell, because you...
Oh,
why?
Wait, you think that's lazy as hell? Did you forget Death Magnetic's Unforgiven 3?
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, it exists. It's terrible.
It's so terrible, I don't think anybody... I never heard it.
Up, dog.
Yeah.
Hello, neighbors. I'm actually going to go to artist on my list here. And I'm going to go to albums. Is it on there? It has to be on. Is
it on Saint Anger? That would be why nobody heard it.
No, Unforgiven 3 is track 7 on Death Magnetic.
Okay.
Death Magnetic was their 2008 release. It was very heavy. It was very much in the old style, but it felt forced.
Yeah.
Hardwired also feels very forced.
See, I like that one.
I'm not saying it's bad. It just feels like they're forcing the style.
That I didn't feel for those.
Now, this is also going to be a very controversial opinion. I really like Load and Reload as rock albums.
Okay.
If you take them as Metallica, because everyone considers them the fathers of thrash metal.
Yeah.
If you take them as thrash albums, they suck.
Right, because they're not.
They're not thrash albums.
No.
They're not the Metallica that you knew at the time.
Right.
They weren't. Even if you look at the Black Album, it's not those out. It's not like that.
Yeah.
And there's a very distinct feel that is missing from it,
which is what was brought back with the
new stuff.
Yeah.
But
hopefully, we only heard one song.
I really enjoyed Load and Reload. This song is, to me, cringe because it like they're reaching for something and they're not getting what they want to get across.
Right.
And it just makes you feel uncomfortable.
The one cringe thing I picked out about this song was that middle part where it's like chugging. It's almost Indians from Anthrax.
And that is another thing. It feels like riffing has been borrowed from other bands,
right? When they start playing that, I never noticed it until until we have to listen to these. That's what I love about these lists is that it makes me listen to the song, and that's what I heard that and I went, oh my, is this Indians? I mean, it's not
for those
exact.
who don't know that song. Indians is a song by Anthrax,
right?
I forget which album is that. Is that Perseverance of Time?
No, I think it's Armed and Dangerous.
Is it Armed and Dangerous?
I don't know.
Either way, it's an old Anthrax song. It's not a bad song, but it has a very specific kind of offset beat, and this has that same beat.
It's got that, for lack of a better term, like that native, like that drum.
See, now that's the funny thing.
What you think of
because of other bands. That isn't even close to native drums.
Oh no, I know, no. But what I'm saying in your head, when we were growing up,
that's what they would have.
That said it, dun, 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 but they sped it up.
Yeah,
and it's that drum beat sped up.
I have to tell you this.
What?
So that traditional dun 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 is a 4 count. It's a 4 count on a metronome.
Yeah.
With the accented 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the reason I bring it up is there's you know who Reggie Watts is?
The name sounds familiar.
He was a band leader for, I think, Fred Armisen's show.
Okay.
So he's a musician. He's a multi-talented guy. He's very funny. And he does a lot of loop stuff on his own.
Okay.
Just a microphone, and he does beatboxing, and then over that he does sound effects. So he was doing a demo for a pedal called the 45,000. And he literally is doing that, and he goes, and some people even keep the click track in kind of like a native drum thing, and he's dun 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 dun, and every time it makes me laugh.
It's
because it's that same thing, and what he does with a loop pedal, is more than what most bands can do with a guitar, bass, and drums.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal, and voices not speaking any language. He does gibberish instead of actual words. To create these awesome things. So. Yeah, that Indians drum track is nothing Indian based to me. No. Like, it's not even of that style in my head. Like, there's some, Soulfly and Sepultura.
Right. Well, we now know what an actual
some of the
tribal drum sounds like. I mean, not completely, but I mean, an actual.
Now that's the thing. My wife loves to go to the powwows out in Long Island.
Yeah.
So to see like actual drum stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
And this ain't even close.
Right.
But yeah, this song always made me feel like,
Yeah.
And to quote you, do I really need to listen to this?
Yeah.
And the answer is no.
Yeah.
And I don't.
No.
And now we're going to
see, I could totally, by the way, I could have picked a few more Metallica songs. I love Metallica.
Let's hear them.
Don't get me wrong.
I want to hear the other songs.
Well, definitely. It was off the same album. What's the one with it? Until It Sleeps.
I actually really like Until It Sleeps.
See, Until It Sleeps. I never told you the Florida story.
Apparently not.
So Scott McPartland and I are very good friends, right?
Yes.
We were very close. We've lost touch, but we because of this podcast, we've gotten back in touch with each other.
Oh, welcome back, Scott.
And so
we'll soon.
That album came out, And this is when MTV showed videos, and
well, the video was the
Metallica
first.
came out with this video, and they sold. We would laugh so hard because they sold that riff as so hard when they played it on the.
Oh yeah, and it's not.
And they played it hard in the middle part where after the and then they come back in and right, and they play it. They make it look like they're playing so hard, and it's not a heavy riff. And we were in Florida, and this is, God, it's gonna sound so weird, but we were getting ready to go. We were getting ready to go out, right? And I'm sitting on the edge of the bed. I'm already dressed. I'm ready to go. And the video is on, and I'm chopping because Scott's in the bathroom. He's taking a shower or whatever he's doing, and the part's coming up, and I'm like, oh, I wish he was. And he comes running out of that bathroom in his towel.
Yeah, I bet his towel was there.
Oh, it was there, you asshole.
He's helicoptering.
But it was. But he comes and at the perfect point, air guitar's the heavy part, quote unquote heavy part.
The heavy part.
And it's just what. But that's so. It was so cringy to us,
Now like I said, I love these two albums, Load and Reload. They were really recorded at the same time, released separately instead of a double album because they didn't have faith that one would sell as a double album really well. I like them. I really do. And because I didn't really watch TV at the time, I heard it before I saw it.
Okay.
But the first time I saw Metallica in the new era,
with the leopard skin jackets and the makeup and the hair,
and then I saw them at Alice in Chains Unplugged, where the bassist had "Friends Don't Let Friends Get Friends" haircuts written on his bass.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that is brutal. I'm like, they're catching shit left and right for this. I told you, this guy Omar that I went to college with used to call him Licka because the metal was all gone. I loved it. My friend Dan was a huge Metallica fan. It was one of those things where they lost a lot of fans in the process.
Yeah.
But I honestly think, they did what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Maybe they were going in a commercial direction, but it felt good.
Listen,
with the exception, really, for me, of this song. I love those albums.
I don't...
And even Unforgiven 2 is not a bad. Unforgiven 3 is an ungodly piece of garbage.
I don't mind a band changing or evolving.
Yeah.
We'll say evolving.
Yeah.
But this was not an evolution. This was a shift. This was a... You know what I mean? If they evolved into that, I think everybody would be like, all right.
Well, the other
They're
thing
getting
was...
older.
Didn't the Black Album come in 89?
91.
Was it 91?
Yeah, 91.
Okay, so this came out in 96.
Yeah.
So from 91 to 96, they were touring and writing. Mm-hmm. And I think 6 years, this would come from the Black Album. Like that isn't an unreasonable...
All right.
Because it's not like they had like a massive change in production. Mm-hmm. They still had Bob Rock, and they still had the same people producing that they had on the Black Album.
All right.
So the only thing that changed was, them.
I think what people thought was going to happen was the Slayer thing, where Slayer was Slayer, and then people don't like Seasons in the Abyss because they think they
don't.
There was when it came out originally, a lot of people were like, oh, Slayer went soft.
Seasons in the Abyss is soft
compared to speed wise.
Okay,
all right.
Do you know what's funny?
But then Slayer went back, right? They went right.
And
they turned it up to 11.
Yeah.
Right. So I think people thought that's what Metallica was going to do. Right. The Black Album comes out, and you're like, all right, it's not as heavy. It's not. But the next one, and then the next one's Load, and you're like, oh Jesus. See,
I guess I didn't take it that way because.
But that's what I'm thinking. People thought. You got
to remember, I was just getting into metal, so I was still looking like I was finding something and then going backwards.
And the funny thing is back then how different our age is.
Oh yeah, that was the difference between freshman and senior in high school.
91, I'm 14.
91, I'm 10.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's my son and a teenager. You know what I mean? My son's 10.
Yeah,
that's my son, and hanging out with a 14-year-old, I'd be like, what the?
Yeah,
what are you
is
doing,
this kid?
dude?
Is he giving you alcohol?
Right. So I mean, right now our ages don't matter, but I mean, back then, 10 and 14 is a huge, big difference.
That's a third of your life.
Right.
That's literally at 14, that's almost a third of your life.
Right. So
now the difference.
Actually, that year, I'm sorry, no, I'm turning 15 that year. I'm 14, turning 15.
91, I'm 10 turning 11.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, it's
No, wait.
the age.
No, 9 turning 10.
Oy.
Yeah, I was born in 81.
So that age difference is huge.
Yeah, no, it's
You know?
massive.
So the way you perceived Metallica is different from the way I perceived Metallica.
Yeah, but also the year the Black Album came out,
Right.
I wasn't listening to anything yet.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I hit high school, it was 90, like the day the CDs were handed to me. It was mid-July 1996. Summer school. So that from 96 on, I had to go in both directions.
Right.
I had to learn new stuff, and I was looking back. Like, this kid didn't give me Black Sabbath or Metallica.
Right. You got to find it.
I had to find those things. And those came from suggestions from other guys I hung out with. These guys like Matt Hansen and John Surdykowski, all Brooklyn local musicians. And my friend Sean got me into Iron Maiden and Danzig, and I never will forgive him for that.
Danzig holds a special place in my heart. I don't know why. It's timing and places. And
That first album, I love.
Yeah.
And I haven't listened to it in a long time, and every once in a while I'll break it out and listen to it. I can't get along with anything else. And I'm going to take a brave step here. I don't like the Misfits. Except
you bastard.
for one album. And it's not a Danzig album.
What is it? Well, it's a Misfits. It's not a dance. Oh, whoa.
I'm a Michael
wait
Graves
minute.
fan.
All right. Can we move on to the
Not
next song?
Famous
I don't want to
Monsters.
talk to you
No.
anymore.
I'm going to talk about this. Because it's not Famous Monsters. It's American Psycho.
Okay.
I really like American Psycho. But only because it's not Danzig's voice. He's not trying to do that. It's a fun sound.
Yeah,
I'll take a step
but
further.
They became a gimmick.
They became a gimmick. Before they became the gimmick, that crossover was there. That one album, American Psycho. It felt really good.
Okay.
After that, not a fan. Michael Graves goes off and does his own thing. He does Gotham Road and Michael Graves. Amazing. On his own, he's awesome. His stuff in Gotham Road is fantastic. Misfits, I could take him or leave him. Danzig, take or leave all of it. Everything except for that first album. Not the Sam Hain stuff. Specifically Danzig. That first album. Maybe 2.
It's not supposed to be pronounced Sam Hain, by the way.
Samhain, I know. I'm going by what people are going to be able to look.
I know. Stop getting mad at me. Wow.
I'm not mad yet. Don't worry.
I feel a little.
I think you're madder at me for not liking the Misfits.
I feel a little tension.
It's normally I have to defend myself pretty hard at not liking the Misfits. Yeah, I really don't like them at all.
Like the whole dancing at all. Like how the gods kill anything. No?
How the Gods Kill was okay. But that was at Danzig 3? 3.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, just remember that final Danzig thing ends with Danzig sings Elvis.
Okay.
Yeah?
I know.
Yeah, you
know.
got it?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now we're going to move on to something cringier than that.
Yes, this is awesome.
This is
my pick.
This is your pick, and I'm only mad that
is it
you
not
picked
perfect?
It is perfect. The reason that this is in the zeitgeist of American culture now is because of Family Guy. Because they played the entire video for David Bowie.
I did not even pick it because of that.
I know, but this is why it's still in America's
Go ahead.
In America's ears and hearts. Dancing in the Streets by David Bowie and Mick Jagger. The most uncomfortable video.
Yes. The
I've
picture
ever
itself
seen.
They're
almost
kissing. Which
goes
not that
with
there's anything wrong with that.
No, there's nothing. There's
To
nothing
quote
wrong with that.
But it's like you said. The reason why I picked this is because two of the most iconic and great singers of our time, and they do a cover of Dancing in the Streets, where, like you said, the video's uncomfortable. They're two English guys shouting out American cities. It's so weird.
Yes. And not only that, the dancing is awkward because it's two British guys dancing in the streets.
Right.
With like long coats. One's got a long coat, the other one's got a kind of puffy jacket, hands in the pockets, dancing, almost arm in arm.
It's so weird.
And everyone jumps at the homoerotic look to it. I don't care about that.
Right.
It's the ugly clothes. We shot this at night in an alley.
But it's who it is, too.
And it is two of the most prolific rock stars in history. Awkward as shit.
Right. Not needed. What did they do this for?
I hope it. Well,
Was it
judging
an
by
album? Did they do an album?
It was
together?
from David Bowie's album.
Okay.
Because it was.
Oh, so this is like a Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson kind of thing.
By the way, that could have been on this list.
On this list too.
Yeah.
Say,
or Ebony and Ivory.
Ebony and Ivory was Paul McCartney. That was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Sure?
He did one with Stevie Wonder too. But
that's the one I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of.
the Stevie Wonder one is more known, but they did one for Michael Jackson.
Oh,
too,
I didn't know that.
And he didn't use it.
Yeah.
The other thing is that's controversial because of the way their friendship ended.
Oh, that he bought all the
Beatles songs out from under him.
Oh, I didn't know it was out from under him.
He basically Paul was trying to get Yoko to pool money to buy the Beatles catalog for shared access and shared rights, and Michael Jackson outbid them both by a lot.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah, and it was under Paul McCartney's not instructions but guide to get rights to other people's songs as an investment.
Yeah.
So he literally goes, "Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I'll buy your shit." And that ruined their friendship.
So who has now that Michael's dead? Who has the Beatles?
I don't know. I don't know if it went back to Paul McCartney. I know,
or does it go into
his estate? Maybe like maybe Paris Michael and Prince Michael,
or does it just become public?
No, it doesn't become public domain.
No.
Usually it passes down the family. That's
so
why
it
there's
would stay in Michael Jackson's family.
I think so.
Oh my God!
I have to ask somebody about
I
that.
Look into
if
that,
there's a correction, someone please let us know. But because I know there's other music that the family has control over.
Yeah.
Same thing with Prince. The family was fighting over royalties.
That I remember. Yeah.
And so-called illegitimate children of Prince kept popping up.
Now, here's the thing: is I heard something because Bruce Springsteen just sold his catalog.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, I got to look this up. But there was a reason why he did it. You can make more money selling your catalog than it is to own it or something like that.
Because of streaming now.
Right.
You sell it off for a bulk number, and then maybe that company will make it back in streaming,
right?
But not in your lifetime.
Ah, okay.
The same thing. Didn't Motley Crue just sell off all their stuff?
I don't know. I remember I remember the Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce
thing.
Springsteen's huge.
I remember hearing that. Yeah, that.
And I think Billy Joel was looking at the same option, but I don't think he's gonna. Billy Joel has a whole. We're gonna talk about Billy Joel later. Yeah, you're not getting away from Billy Joel. Yeah, but he has a weird catalog and very very extensive.
Right.
David Bowie. David Bowie's one of those iconic musicians.
Right. And here's the funny thing about him. Speaking of Metallica, how many times he changed.
Yes.
And it was
constant
fine,
evolution.
But it was fine because that was him. That's what he did.
He was a constantly evolving musician.
Right. And all of it was great. Well, I mean, some of it was duds, but for the most part, he did stuff that everybody loved, even when it took a little time to get used to, but he did stuff that people just loved.
Yes. I actually, every once in a while, you forget what he did musically, and you'll hear Major Tom or
even I'm Afraid of Americans.
Oh, with Trent Reznor.
The only thing that I haven't gotten into, and this was it's a kind of sad one, was the last album where he knew he was dying.
Yeah, actually, my friend, former guitarist from Shadow Demise, Dan,
mm-hmm.
His wife Emily, is a huge Bowie fan.
Yeah,
and like she was going, like when he passed, she was going through like track listings and stuff like that of these amazing songs.
Right.
And it was really helpful to see some of his work that
mm-hmm.
way, and to see it through somebody who's a super fan's eyes was really cool.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what we do here. Like we're pointing out the stuff that we find interesting. In this case, we're not pointing it out for the good, but we're doing it.
No, we're going back and forth. We're talking about their good stuff too.
Oh yeah. No, we're recognizing the good.
It's the same thing with Mick Jagger.
Oh yeah. Well, honestly, Mick Jagger only, like, to me, I don't remember any solo stuff. I just remember the Stones.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
his
there's
acting
solo
career.
I'm sure there's solo stuff.
I don't think so. Like there's
I don't
this.
know. But anyhow, and he's still doing it.
Oh yeah.
And how is he in his 70s?
He has to be. No, he has to be older. He has to be late 70s, early 80s.
Shut your mouth. I think we went through this a couple.
He was famous
episodes ago.
before Black Sabbath,
And that's in the 60s.
And that's in the 60s. Late 60s, early 70s.
Right. And
they
Ozzy's
had been
in
famous
his
since the
70s.
late 50s.
There's no way he's doing this in his 80s.
I haven't seen anything about them performing recently.
Yeah.
But they were up until a couple of years ago.
Right,
they were
right.
they
But
were out
before
and
the
about.
pandemic, I would say. Right?
Yeah. I remember the oldest members of that band were, I think, Bill Wyman and Charlie Watts.
Yeah.
And the Wyman was bassist, Charlie Watts drummer. I think they're out. Like, no matter what, I think they're done of their own accord. But that's I can't imagine. Like, I work in a hospital. I see 80-year-olds on a regular basis. Not one of them, I think, can get on stage and sing Jumping Jack Flash.
Right. My dad is 83. Listen.
Wow. Really just throwing him under the bus there, huh?
Why?
My dad's old as shit. Yeah, my dad's old too.
No, but what I'm saying is that, like you're saying, my dad, he works out, he eats well. I mean, but he's 83.
Yeah.
My dad would never be able to, if Mick Jagger is near in his 80s, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Look at Tom Jones working. Now, he doesn't perform as much, but he's on The Voice,
right?
In I think England.
But here's the thing: is Tom Jones just kind of sits there and croons. Mick Jagger.
Have you ever seen Tom Jones sing? There is nothing croon about the way he sings.
But you know what I mean? He doesn't run around the stage like Mick Jagger does.
No, but at the same time, he sings on a level so much more powerful than Mick Jagger. Imagine, look, the only person I can consider close in age to Mick Jagger, and this is a pretty big age difference, is Bruce Dickinson running around on stage with a backpack and the flamethrowers, which is crazy.
Yeah.
He brings out a claymore sword.
I guess it just takes listen, right? These guys can do it. I'm sure there's other guys who would love to do it but can't, and those bands are not around anymore.
My other favorite, ZZ Top. They lost their bassist last year, and they're still going, and they have a new bassist, and he's cool, but he's not the same as the others.
Yeah,
but they're old as shit. I mean, and I don't mean that to be an insult, but they're older guys.
Yeah.
Two of the members, Dusty, the one who passed away, and their drummer were also members of a fake band in the 50s, the Zombies. You heard the song "Time of the Season"?
Yeah,
obviously.
my son was born to it.
Okay, that's very specific.
No, yeah. Okay, let me tell you a quick story.
The opposite of what songs to bump it to. Songs to have a baby to.
Yeah. So when my son Logan was born, we played this on his birthday every year. Just last week we played it because he turned 10. This Time of the Season was playing because my wife was rolled into the operating room, and this was the weirdest thing. We're going in, and they go, "What kind of music you like?" And we didn't want to say, my wife goes rancid, or we're not going to have the hot doctor. So we said classic rock. And they put a classic rock station on, and while he was born a C-section, as they were showing him to us, that was the song that was playing.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah. So we play it every year. We tell him this is the song you were born to.
That's really sweet.
Which is pretty funny because one of the lines is "Who's your daddy?"
Yeah. What's your name? Who's your daddy?
Yeah.
Is he rich like me?
Yeah. Well, no, we keep that part out, but
so. So back in the late 50s, early 60s, they were part of a band called the Zombies.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the Zombies. It wasn't the guys who wrote Time of the Season.
Okay.
The Zombies were a British band.
Uh-huh.
They were very famous in Britain, and they got a hit in America. And somebody said, well, nobody knows what they look like.
Right.
So we'll just get a band together and tour them as the Zombies.
Really?
And then that's in Texas.
Yeah.
And in Detroit, another guy had the same idea.
Yeah.
And started touring them as the Zombies.
Really?
The Zombies broke up in England.
Yeah.
They found out they had a huge following in America,
yeah.
got back together and sued both bands.
Nice.
So the band, the Texas Zombies, decided, well, we enjoy playing with each other. I know that sounds weird, but we enjoy working together.
I didn't even pick it up that way, but thanks.
We enjoy working together.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing it. And that's how ZZ Top got started.
Shut your hole.
I swear to God. I swear that's how ZZ Top was founded.
That is awesome.
Frank Beard and Dusty, they are the founding members of ZZ Top, along with Billy Gibbons.
I love that his name is Beard. And,
He's the only guy with that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, Dancing in the Streets, awkward as shit.
Yeah.
It's a good song. It's just not a good song by David Bowie.
The original song.
Yeah, the original is awesome. but not by David Bowie
No.
and Mick Jagger.
No.
It is awkward. And now we're going to go to the next double dose.
Yeah, which is again, it's metal royalty.
Yeah, metal royalty. And speaking of people who were kicked out of Metallica,
Yeah,
we'd like to mention Sweating Bullets by Megadeth.
yeah.
From Countdown to Extinction. Not my least favorite album.
No,
Probably my second least favorite or third.
okay. I this is
It's got a couple of good tracks.
I'll give you a quick story about this. So, this is the album I met Johnny to. I had a bootleg copy of this and Pantera's which was the blue one with the skull? Stronger Than All?
Far Beyond
Driven. It's Stronger Than All was the song.
Yeah.
Durr.
Well, it's always Far Beyond Driven or Vulgar Display of Power.
Yeah.
And I can never remember which order they go in.
Vulgar Display first.
It's Vulgar, then
yeah. So my cousin, I don't know, I forget, he worked somewhere and he gave me a cassette with Far Beyond Driven on one side. This is a month or two before it comes out. And Symphony of Destruction on the other side. Right?
And you handed them that cassette back.
And no, I didn't know.
I'm kidding.
So I met this kid, John, at the pool hall. And I told him I had, I forget how it happened, but I remember us sitting outside the pool hall on Horace Harding Expressway, listening to it on a Walkman.
Together?
Yeah.
One in each ear?
Yeah.
I used to love doing that with
And
people.
that's Johnny Fisher.
I love John. John, we love you.
And
if you're listening, we do want to have you on.
That was in of course. And that was in the 90s. That me and John I've known John probably 30 years. Yeah, I'm trying to,
I'd gotten in contact with John earlier this week. We anytime I talk to him, it's a blast. He's so funny. He's by the way, Unworked Apparel.
Yes.
For all your t-shirt needs, he has great designs. He'll make you whatever you need at whatever size, whatever you need. He actually made memorial patches when my friend Pedro passed away. I contacted him immediately if we could get some more memorials done for him. We might actually be doing it again for my friend John who passed. We're going to do some memorial patches and stuff. If he can't do it, he'll find you somebody who can. He's been awesome. I have tons of his Unworked Apparel designs. Stuff he lost the designs for and moves. I have
collector's items.
Yeah, collector's items. They're fat and stretched out. All the ink is ripped away because I'm gigantic. And I roll in my sleep like an alligator.
He's going to the death row.
He's going to the death row.
So Sweating Bullets.
Sweating Bullets is
it was bad when it came out.
And then the video made it worse.
And then they remastered it, which is what I'm listening to now.
Oh, all the remasters of Megadeth stuff have been an unmitigated disaster.
But what they did was Dave Mustaine does not have a good voice to begin with.
No.
And then you isolate his voice with no music behind it.
Yes.
And no reverb and no effects at all. And it's terrible.
It's painful.
And then he's talking to himself. I know it's this whole, mental illness thing that he's trying to get across, but dude.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, Dave Mustaine has no history of mental illness. He has drug addiction problems that he's blamed on mental illness and then knocks other people for having mental illness.
But I can't. I can't do it. And then there's no riff.
It's 3 notes. Yeah.
And then there's that little part where he goes, but there's no song there.
Yeah, no, it's such an uncomfortable, it's cringe. It's pure cringe. It's uncomfortable. It's unpleasant to the ears for me. And
I'm just reading what I wrote. I put no thought into music. Everything I'm saying, I didn't even have to read it on my notes.
One of my complaints, the video I hated.
Yeah.
The music I'm not a fan of. It sounds like they were trying to do like the way the old blues used to do, like the
yeah,
but trying to make it heavy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work because
I never looked at it that way, but okay.
Because four white guys are not going to get that kind of emotion through.
Right.
In that style.
And Dave Mustaine's not, because I don't even know if he knows what that is.
Yeah. To say the least. He's one of the most tone deaf people, I think. Like, not musically,
physically, emotionally,
emotionally tone deaf. He has no idea how to read a room. He doesn't know, like, his opinions are always weirdly negative.
Like, and then he tried to do that, you know, hey, Dave Mustaine's a good guy, when a couple months ago that TikTok came out where he was handing the kid whatever.
Yeah, a pick.
Yeah.
He walked into the crowd and gave the kid a guitar pick.
No, he sat behind them.
Yeah, and then handed him stuff.
That was during the show?
It was before.
Yeah.
Like, they were doing setup.
Right,
in between bands.
He just came out, yeah.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Right.
It's creepy behavior.
No, it would be nice if it wasn't Dave Mustaine.
Yeah.
Because you know he's just doing that for like a PR. Like, hey, look, I'm a nice guy.
No, Axl Rose throwing the microphone into the crowd up until this incident was a cool thing. It just happens that he hurt somebody.
Right. But
until then.
But at least he
went on the immediate, I'm so sorry.
Right. But I think it's genuine.
Oh,
I think he thought it was cool until somebody got, and he was like, oh,
like
shit.
He nailed somebody in the face by
he's
accident.
Like, I'm not going to do that. And he said, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's reasonable. I know you have to have something that somebody threw into the crowd at some point. You don't have something that somebody threw from the stage into the crowd at some point?
I don't think so.
Drumsticks.
I don't think Mike ever threw drumsticks into the crowd.
No, not you. Not from your side. I mean, as a fan.
Oh yeah,
like I have guitar picks from.
I have nothing.
Machine Head from
I told
the
you, I was the guy in the pit, or now I'm the guy on this. I'm nowhere near catching something at the show.
Oh, you've obviously never seen what Dream Theater does. Portnoy's throwing sticks as far back as he can get.
I've never seen Dream Theater.
I think you're missing out a little bit.
All right.
I think you need to to take a step. Maybe we'll drag you to a Dream Theater show. Maybe not a Dream Theater show. But we're going to see Winery Dogs.
Yeah.
And when we see Winery Dogs, you'll get to see Portnoy. And Portnoy is very impressive. Billy Sheehan and Richie Kotzen. I don't know if you know this, but Richie Kotzen doesn't use guitar picks. He plays entirely with his fingers.
I did not know that, and Mike has sent me a couple videos of him, so that's...
It's horrifying.
He's nutty, though, right? Didn't Mike say he's like a little...
He's a little off-kilter, yeah.
But,
so is Portnoy, so is Billy Sheehan. Billy Sheehan is, I'll call him a loon. I'll be nice and say a loon.
But the funny thing is, when I asked Mary Jane if she wanted to go to the Winery Dogs show, I was like, I don't know them either. I was like, well, listen. And she was like, yeah... We just want to get out.
It sounds like a fun time, and this will be my wife and I's first concert since before the pandemic. Our last pre-pandemic show was Ginger.
Wow, really?
At the Gramercy.
Okay.
By the way,
don't like Ginger too much. I do and I don't.
Is it the growling?
Yeah. No, but also that sounds sexist, but I don't like girls doing that.
Okay, I can understand. I used to feel the same way.
Like Alyssa
White Glues.
Right. She has a beautiful voice.
Yes, she does.
And then she does that, and I'm like, what the?
I actually love both of those things. And that's one of the reasons
she does it well.
I love Tatiana from Ginger.
Okay.
Is that she has a beautiful singing voice.
Does she do both too? Because I've only heard of it. I've never listened to Ginger. Just what I've heard. I'm just like, ugh.
Oh man, her singing voice is phenomenal. She did, like I said, with 12 Foot Ninja. She did a cover.
Yeah.
Not a cover. She did a duet with their singer, Nick. And she sings, no growling. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Ginger is one of those bands, they're super heavy.
Yeah.
But they have some of those weird, intricate parts. I wouldn't say off time, but definitely more progressive style.
Are they American or no?
No, they are Ukrainian.
Oh.
So, interesting story about Ginger. She was living in LA with her boyfriend at the time of the Ukrainian conflict started.
Okay.
Both the guitarist and the bassist were in the Ukraine.
Oh.
One works in the healthcare field. The other one was in like textiles.
Really, you're in Ginger, and they still have to have regular jobs.
Well, he had like I have a job where it's passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah. They quit their jobs and started making Molotovs.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Wow.
They went full Ukrainian resistance.
Yeah.
Say what you want about any country.
Yeah.
There's nobody who loves their homeland like Ukraine.
Yeah. Jesus.
I mean, they're like, not to get political, but these people love their homeland. They have a term, Slava Ukraine. Mm-hmm. It means glory to Ukraine. They mean it. They love their country.
Yeah.
Their flag is the blue skies over the yellow fields of sunflower seeds.
Right.
Of sunflowers. It's beautiful. And these guys, when they heard there was a conflict, they stopped what they were doing to help.
I fought.
You know what?
I don't know if I would ever do it.
and that is the difference.
Yeah. So listen.
So
I picked a cringy Megadeth song.
And I picked Cringier.
And you picked probably the winner of this fucking playlist.
Oh, no. No, definitely not.
No?
No.
I mean...
This is not the winner.
No, to me...
I don't think so.
When this started Dave, I'm shocked. I was. You had to pick my jaw off the floor when this started playing.
So, my choice for Megadeth, and this wasn't even discussed beforehand. I picked Crush 'Em from the album Risk, which is their around the same time as Reload came out.
Okay.
Risk came out, and it was a very big departure from their previous stuff. It's much more mellowed down. This is the reason Marty Friedman left Megadeth. Not only this album, but this is one of the songs that he's like,
yeah,
I'm going to go to Japan and I'm going to do whatever I want.
Because can I, okay, you want to explain why you picked it? And then I'll
yeah, the song fucking sucks.
Okay, good.
It just sucks top to bottom.
Here's what I have written down.
Soup to nuts.
Right? First off, it starts out and it sounds like a goddamn Nine Inch Nails song.
And not in a good way.
No. And then it turns out, I'm like, are they trying to make a dance song?
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's right? That bad.
And then there's in the first third of the song, Dave Mustaine does this groan or something. Uh-huh. He goes, what? It was the most unnerving thing I've ever heard. Thank God he only does it once in the song.
That's what gets the chill going up your back,
right? And then because I'm reading down my thing, then. In the middle, it almost turns into, speaking of them before, a ZZ Top song.
Yep.
It gets very groovy, kind of rock groove, like a you know.
So this is, like I said, this is the last time.
I have one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
Does Dave Mustaine rap at the end?
A little bit.
Holy shit.
It's terrible. It's all around awful. This was the reason that a lot of Megadeth fans gave up on Megadeth.
Yeah.
Now, I know you punched out at Countdown, right?
Yeah.
So you missed out on Euthanasia. So that was actually a really good album.
Okay.
I will suggest that if we ever do a deep dive on one band, we do that album. Okay. Because it's a really good, well-written
the thing
album.
is that that's when my transition from metal to
punk. Punk and
stuff,
ska.
Yeah, went to. So it's not that I abandoned metal for a while.
No, but you punched out of Megadeth.
Yeah,
because you moved on to something else.
Right.
A lot of people punched out of Megadeth at Risk because it was so bad.
The whole album
stinks.
Yeah.
There's not a good track on it.
Okay.
I could have picked any one of these songs. I just picked the douchiest one from a soundtrack. By the way,
soundtrack?
Song, Universal Soldier 2. I think 2.
Not even Universal Soldier, not the first one.
Oh no, it wasn't the first one. It was the one with Goldberg.
It was the one that nobody watched.
Yeah, nobody watched. Anything
should have went straight to DVD.
No, it didn't.
It should have. I said it should have.
So yeah, it stinks. Dave Mustaine should feel bad for have written it. Marty Friedman left, and Marty Friedman kept his career going in Japan, writing with an amazing band behind him. Uh-huh. His bassist, one of my favorite female bassists in the world. They're just a fun time all around. Mm-hmm. And the reason that he left is because of this album. Yeah. I'll say this song, but it's really the entire album.
Yeah.
His experience was so negative. And this led to other musicians coming in for one album and leaving. You know,
for Megadeth.
For Megadeth. The next album, The World Needs a Hero, has Al Pitrelli for one album. Al Pitrelli is a guitar virtuoso.
And
He's
couldn't
amazing.
hold on to him. Yeah.
And it's not that they couldn't hold on to him. He treated him like crap until he left.
Why? Why join the band and then
they treated him
treated like him?
They treated him like
they treated him. Okay.
And not they. Dave.
Yeah.
Dave was like, "Oh, you can't come in here with a beard. You got to shave. You got to."
What?
Yeah, he has all these rules. Like you can't wear like t-shirts on stage. Have you ever noticed how they dress? They're very specifically dressed up for what they're doing.
Really?
And it's such a douche way to deal with people.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's wearing like fancy jeans and a white button-down shirt. Yeah, that's great.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just remember, Dream Theater, when they made their first music video, their singer was wearing a Napalm Death t-shirt.
Yeah.
Because he wanted other people to see the name Napalm Death. That's pretty cool. You know, that's friendship. That's friendship on a level that most people won't understand. Faith No More. Faith No More. I think it was Billy Gould or Jim Martin was wearing the Tribute to Cliff T-shirt.
Yes, I think it was.
That's a huge deal.
Jim Martin, yeah.
Dave Mustaine would never allow that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the many ways.
Because it's not focusing the attention on Megadeth.
Yes. And that's why I think he's a douche.
All right.
End rant.
Yeah.
No. Continue rant. The next song, we went a little backwards with Megadeth. We went in order of their releases rather than what we picked. Now, this one is a me pick, and it was The One I Want by Van Halen. And this is not Van Halen or Van Hagar. This is Van Sharon. And in defense of Gary Sharon, I love Gary Sharon. I like Extreme. This album has a couple of really great songs. This is not one of them. This is definitely...
I wrote lyrically not the best. I put
lyrically. He says at one point, "Pizza Man just wants a slice," and at that point, I really could have just thrown. And this is talking about CDs. I would have thrown my CD player out the window and jumped after it. And
then overall, I just wrote that the song sounds lazy.
That's the problem with a lot of the Sharon stuff is that it sounds piecemeal.
Yeah,
and this is a very piecemeal song.
Yeah.
It
was tough getting through this one.
And I will say this about Gary Sharon. Gary Sharon is responsible for two of the greatest songs in my mind ever written about love. More Than Words and Wholehearted.
Okay.
Those are amazing songs to me. One is definitely like a ballad. The other one's more of an upbeat song about love.
Yeah.
But they're amazing. And then this it's not fair. It's not fair that
it's not fair to Van Halen. Not fair to him.
He got this Van Halen. You know, he got. Right. I don't think the brothers were on the best of terms at this point.
Right.
Michael Anthony was just playing along.
Right.
This is right before he joined Sammy Hagar and his solo stuff. It was not fun. This song sucks.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
But it's like I said. I don't think it's Gary Sharon. I don't even blame the band. I just feel like it's all kind of.
It should have been over. They were trying. They were trying to extend the.
They were using the paddles.
Yeah. And they were trying to extend Van Halen for what it was, and it just.
If they had started another band and called it something different, this might have been completely different.
Right.
They were trying to keep Van Halen alive with another singer, and we talked about this in The Replacements. He's a great singer, a phenomenal singer, a 5-octave wonder.
Yeah.
This is not his best showing.
Right.
And Gary Sharon is much better than this. And
what is he doing now? Is he still?
I don't know. I hope maybe doing stuff with. No, I don't know if Extreme's still active because I know their drummer is with somebody else.
Yeah, they could be behind the scenes.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna check with Mike on that.
Yeah,
you know, because Mike is probably the best wealth of knowledge that we have other than the internet. But Gary Sharon was phenomenal, and he was a great writer. He was a dancer on stage too. He was a guy who danced around. Not a lot of rock musicians have that in them still. He was very much a move around guy. I almost feel bad for him for beating this up because he doesn't deserve this kind of ire. Van Halen either, because if you think about how many albums they had and how many stinkers they had, their ratio is phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
like really, they have like one full album that was panned and maybe a couple of songs.
Listen, and to be able to switch singers and the second singer is just as popular, if not more, than the first.
And to keep going through that. And that's the other thing we said about AC/DC, you know, to keep something alive and to keep a style alive.
But you got to know, and I mean, and it could have happened to any of the bands we spoke about in that episode. You don't know. They get Gary Sharon and they're like, oh, maybe we can keep going, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know?
And the other thing that I wanted to say about Van Halen is this didn't feel like the party band.
Right.
And this is the only album I can think
of. Yeah.
They're very much a party
and this
party-centric band. This is not it.
Yeah. They sang about love, but it was I don't know. I'm trying to think of the like
we talked about that song with Without You.
Yeah.
The video track that they put out.
Right.
And we talked about A Year to the Day, which is depressing.
Uh-huh.
It makes you feel something, but I don't know if it would be considered a good thing.
Yeah.
Like for me, I love that song.
Yeah.
But that's the only song I love on this album.
But it's not a Van Halen feel. Exactly. The whole,
It's Eddie writing for Gary Sharon's voice, but I don't know if that meant a good thing for Van Halen.
Yeah.
So Van Halen, Gary Sharon, I'm sorry. I know you're never going to hear this anyway. Who the fuck listens to us? But yeah, to move on, somebody I have no problem making fun of.
Come on.
Mr. Tree Hitter himself.
Fight me.
Billy Joel.
Now listen, come on. Oh, you're a Brooklyn guy. That's why. Listen.
I have no honestly, I don't have a problem
I grew up
with
in
Billy
Queens. I live in Long Island now.
Yeah.
Right?
He's probably hit the tree outside your house.
He might have. I live on a dead end. But he has been, it's almost, if you're not from New York, if you're not from specifically Queens or Long Island, you mostly, he's like a given.
He is a New York given.
I've lived with Billy Joel in my life, his music, my whole life.
Absolutely.
So it pains me to bring up The Entertainer.
Yeah,
it's if not the listen. I know. There's your Billy Joel haters like you, who give him no props. But he's an institution, and this song is just terrible.
I just want to remind you, I had to look it up just now. This is not the weirdest thing Billy Joel has ever done.
What do you mean weird?
It's not the strangest thing. Like, it's a cringe song.
It's just a weird. Why are you explaining? Like, I ladle kind of girls. Much like what the.
Just remember, he was the singer for Attila.
The weird sounds.
He was also the singer for a rock band, Attila.
When? In the 60s?
No. 70s?
Early 70s?
Yeah.
Well, didn't his first album come out in 74?
His, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the self-titled album came out 70. Yeah.
Billy Joel's?
No, Attila.
Oh, Attila.
Yeah.
Now, they're a rock band?
Yeah. I'll play you that when we're done.
All right.
It's weird. Most people don't know that he was in a rock band.
Yeah, I had
Michael
no idea.
Bolton was in a hair metal band.
That I knew.
It's hilarious.
But
yeah, the Entertainer.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Come on, tell me. Fight me.
No, what am I supposed to? Am I supposed to defend this?
No. I don't know. You put my defenses up. What defenses? My defenses up when you said you didn't like Billy Joel.
I don't. But here's the thing.
It's got the weird synth sounds in the beginning. It's not even a piano, and he's the piano man.
I'm gonna list this in order. I don't like the song.
Oh God, here we go.
I don't like Billy Joel.
Yeah.
I love his show politics. I love.
What do you mean?
Okay, so he doesn't sell the front row seats. He doesn't sell up close. He gives them away.
Oh yeah.
So you can't buy your way to the front.
Right.
So the rich people don't get the better seats. I love that.
Right.
He saves that for like the fans. People who would really appreciate his music. Give the rich people the mezzanine. Give them, out in the back. He loves his fans. I don't hate him I don't really hate him.
You don't like his music.
I like making fun of him. Honestly, Uptown Girl, amazing. The River of Dreams, all that stuff is phenomenal. His newer stuff, also really good. It's not that I hate him.
Yeah.
There's something that bothers me about his face. It's just something about
it's very punchable.
Is something about his face. I want to scrape it across concrete. I don't know how to put it.
That's hilarious.
I just want to drag him there. It's so bad.
So, all right, we'll stop with Eddie. I almost said Eddie Murphy. We'll stop with Billy Joel because it's just a bad song.
It's a bad song.
It's a bad song about being an entertainer.
Yeah, and he's not that entertaining when it comes to the song.
Yeah, no.
This could have been called "I'm mildly amusing in this moment."
Yeah,
and not even that much
because his other songs are so much better. And I have never seen him live, but my cousin has gone to. I texted him a few months ago about how many he's up to, like 40. Oh yeah, my cousin goes every time. When he had the I don't know if he still does
The Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
My friend Desi went to one a while back.
No, my cousin goes to every one.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's got to be difficult.
Listen, he's been to, if not all of them, he's pretty damn close to going to every ballpark in the United States.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is he a baseball guy?
Yeah.
Or just concert guy?
No, he's a huge Mets fan.
Unrelated, but somewhat related. One of the guys I went to X-ray school,
Yeah.
he decided he was going to see Elton John. But he didn't want to see Elton John in New York at Giant Stadium or whatever. So he went to the O2 Arena in England. He took like a week-long tour to Europe.
Yeah, that's dedication.
Just to go see Elton John. He took his wife. That's a great way to do it. Destination plus a concert. That's a genius move.
And he went for like a week. He was
there for a week.
That was his vacation.
Yeah, he went
Plus
on vacation
show.
and then
That's pretty cool.
happened to see Elton John, which was the reason he was
Yeah.
there. I would love that.
I would never go see Elton John.
Oh,
you would?
Now that he's retiring,
I don't like Elton John.
really?
Yeah. He's my Billy Joel.
Okay, I can respect him being your Billy Joel because I'm still standing. Rough video.
You know what's funny?
Rough song.
I'm doing that just to be,
a little facetious.
Because you.
Shadow and Billy Joel.
Yeah. So I enjoy some Elton John songs.
Yeah, there's some of that stuff is wild.
Yeah.
And the fact that I don't know about Billy Joel, but the way Elton John writes is mind-boggling. He has a writing partner.
Yeah.
Who doesn't live anywhere near him.
Okay.
So Bernie Taupin, his writing partner, will write lyrics and send them to him. It used to be fax, probably email now. And if he didn't hear a response
It's email now.
in a half an hour,
Yeah.
he would throw it out or delete it.
The song?
Yeah.
So you mean there could be some great Elton John songs out
just
there and we would
didn't
have
make
no idea?
Yep.
Wow.
Well, think about it this way. Every song had to have something within the first half hour or it wasn't used.
Right. Which is crazy because what if the guy was taking a shit?
Think about how many songs that we've heard. Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Yeah.
Candle in the Wind. These are all written as a team.
Right.
Imagine what didn't get written because he didn't respond or didn't want to respond or couldn't think of anything fast enough.
That's funny.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And our last song.
Yes, do it. This is
and this hurts.
Every time we answer one, I'm like, oh no, this is the worst one. This is the worst one. No, this
I put it at the end because I feel it's the piece de resistance.
Okay.
The capstone.
Go ahead.
To our terrible songs by good bands, our cringe songs by good bands. And this is Pink by Aerosmith.
What were they thinking?
I know what they were thinking.
Oh, okay. Well, I meant by releasing the song. Not what they were thinking about when they wrote the song.
So the song is on the album 9 Lives, which is not a good album.
That's when they came back?
This is actually, I think, their second to last studio album.
Okay.
This was in the early 2000s.
Was it that late?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this had real CGI in it.
Okay.
Because I know you're thinking of the album with Amazing.
Yes. Yeah. I thought that was on this.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that album is awesome.
Yeah.
This is not that album.
This is not the Alicia Silverstone era.
The Alicia Silverstone, Liv Tyler,
and Liv Tyler era. No.
No. This is after that.
Oh.
This is CGI. Steven Tyler's head on a woman's body.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, their video was cringe. The song was cringe.
Yeah, I think I repressed it.
Was it Steve Perry as a centaur?
What?
Yeah, that whole thing is terrible.
Yeah, I definitely repressed it like a bad
attack, like an attack in the subway.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's such an uncomfortable song too. Like it just doesn't. It feels like they were forcing.
Well, it's Steven Tyler being literal when he used to be so well at
dancing,
dancing around. Yeah, like Love in an Elevator.
Pump the entire album title.
Right.
Pump. Back in the Saddle.
Yeah. He was so good at it's right there, but he doesn't say it.
Yeah.
He's just like,
it's vagina.
Yeah.
He's like, it's vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. I'm glad you said it, Steven. Now it's gross for everybody. It's gross for all of us. I'm thinking about an old guy who's thinking about vagina. You're a mess, Steven Tyler.
But yeah. So,
and just remember, this is not the worst thing that's ever been written. It's just the worst thing we could think of this time.
Oh yeah,
We're going to be revisiting this one.
Oh, there were a few that I could think of. Well, we went through a few that I thought of
and
as we were going, but
I want to do this list again, maybe down the line.
Yeah.
With completely different bands, completely different styles.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no doubt.
Oh, of course you were, you asshole.
I'm staying with it. I'm sticking with it. No, that fucking boo boo baby voice can go fuck itself. But to look at it realistically, there are a lot more songs by a lot of bands that we like that we can talk about. And I also want to talk about really good bands by meh.
Yeah, yeah.
Really good songs by meh bands.
That's rough though.
No.
You know how hard that...
By okay bands.
Yeah.
You know a couple of just okay bands, and then there's that song that's like, ooh, I like that.
But that's... Yeah, but if I find a band and I'm like, I just don't listen to them, and I wouldn't know they had a good song.
You've never like looked at a playlist and picked your song, like you're listening to the album and you're like, wow, this sucks, skip, and then all of a sudden you catch one like,
right.
oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And you save that one song.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
You're not one hit wonders because they may not even be hits. They're just songs that grab you.
Yeah.
Like
like a good song by Nickelback.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what you're talking about.
Yes. Everyone shits on Nickelback. They have a couple of really crazy good songs.
Were you the one who told me how they got that bad reputation? Or is it that I have it in my head?
What?
The comedian that
Oh no, that's how they started to redeem themselves.
No.
Oh no, okay, so recently there's a comedian named Shane Torres.
Okay.
Who starts talking about Guy Fieri. And he's like, what did Guy Fieri do to get everyone to piss all over him? And he's like, they treat him like he's a member of Nickelback. And speaking of Nickelback, what did Nickelback ever do?
Right. Brian Posner.
Oh, that's right. He shits all over them.
No, he said something in passing. He didn't even mean to do it.
Yeah.
He said, I forget the exact line, but he said something about, talking about whatever. And then he goes, sort of like Nickelback. And they say from that point on, everybody went, oh yeah, Nickelback kind of does suck.
I like I say, I can crap all over them. But at the same time, the non-radio stuff, the stuff that they write that they enjoy, some is pretty good. Some of it is pure garbage.
Yeah.
But, they're writing what they want to write. Some of it's going to be not my taste. But, man, they have some really good songs. And trust me, when we go into deep cuts, there's definitely a deep cut for Nickelback.
Okay.
And there's some wild stuff.
All right.
Yeah, Nickelback's gonna be one of them. Puddle of Mud has a track or two outside of their standard. Yeah. It's not a Nirvana cover, I'll tell you that. Green Day has a couple of ones that aren't like, I'm not a huge Green Day fan, but there are a couple of tracks.
Yeah. Oh, Green Day has a plenty.
I know they have plenty for everyone else, but I'm talking from me.
I'm not a huge Green Day fan either, but I over the years they were the pop punk band. I was like, but now I've grown to like them.
What is your standpoint on AFI?
I don't have any, no real stand. I know they start because I don't really listen to them.
Okay,
so I know they started out like as a punk band, and then slowly transitioned into a rock band.
I don't really know.
All right. Well, we'll have to look into that.
Reason I say that is they have one of their covers is one of my favorite covers.
Oh yeah,
of a Misfits song.
Oh, well, look at you.
Like I said, sometimes the cover gets me a place in the seat. It's they got me for that one.
But yeah, the AFI, I know there's like a backlash for them, like they change styles or something like that, or I don't know.
And on that note, I think we're gonna call it here.
Yeah, man.
It's been a pleasure. These songs suck. Listen to them if you want. If not, find any other song by these artists and enjoy that. Look for us on Instagram. Hit the Stage Podcast. My name is basher.exe. You are Nugs29.
Nugs with a Z.
And if you want to email us any corrections, any ideas, it's hitthestagepodcast@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. We always love input, corrections. If you want to just talk about how good we are.
Or how terrible we
or
are.
how terrible we are. If I sound like I'm farting in the background, I probably am. We love you. I love you.
I love you, dude.
Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves.
Hail Halford.
And have a good day.